Welcome to Mindful Mastery. This is the second video in the college survival guide, and today we are going over how to manage stress. So a lot of people struggle with stress, especially college students, and there are a lot of people that are so accustomed to stress that they don't even notice it anymore. But what exactly is stress? It's a physiological response that challenges our body's equilibrium. It occurs whenever we encounter something that's completely unexpected, that forces us to adapt to the situation and bring ourselves back into equilibrium. But you've probably also heard that not all stress is bad stress, and that is completely true. A little bit of stress here and there can be a good thing because it boosts our attention and our ability to form memories. But whenever it becomes more constant and chronic, then it begins to have more dire consequences because it kind of blocks off different mechanisms within our body. It'll end up resulting in our brain cells dying, which causes our brain to actually get smaller, and it can also result in a weakening immune system, which can make us much more susceptible to diseases and illnesses. So stress is something that can be good in little amounts, but it's not something that we need all the time. And you can kind of think of our body's ability to handle stress kind of like a muscle, because if you were to constantly work out a muscle, then eventually it would break down and fall apart. But if you would just work it out every now and then and give it plenty of rest, then it would have time to recover and grow stronger so that the next time it could lift more weights. This is why exercise is such a great way to manage stress, and it has multiple effects. It causes a slight stress on the body. It then also allows us to relax after the workout. And then it also boosts our immune system so that we can fight off diseases and illnesses like the ones that we might have gotten whenever we were overly stressed. But I do want to focus more on the slight stress that it puts on the body, because like I said, it kind of works like a muscle. Whenever you consistently work out, then your body becomes more used to the stress that you're putting it under, and then its threshold for stress gets higher and higher so that it becomes harder and harder for you to get overwhelmed. And there are so many different ways for you to exercise. You can go rock climbing, maybe go dancing, figure skating, and you can even go to the gym. And remember, you don't necessarily have to do something as basic as going to the gym, even though I like to go in there and pound out the stress. But I know that's not for everyone. Something else that causes people a lot of stress is whenever there is a bunch of ambiguity or uncertainty to a situation. This causes people to worry because they don't really understand the situation or they don't really know what to expect. So the best way to reduce this kind of stress is by reducing the ambiguity. And I would recommend doing this by journaling. So try and write down all the things that you can about the situation, and then also write down all the people that might be able to tell you more about that situation. And lastly, figure out all the things that are in your control. And obviously, you don't need to do this by journaling, but I have found that by writing down all the aspects of the situation, it helps give me a better understanding of the situation, and also helps me work out all the options that I have in that situation. And by doing this, you might even be able to resolve the situation, and worst comes to worst, you'll just have a better understanding, which either way, it will drastically reduce your stress. Similarly, some people are constantly worrying about all the things that they need to do and when they need to get them done. This is why you should work on managing your time. I have never been less stressed than whenever I planned out my entire week each and every Sunday. This is because I knew exactly what I was going to do each and every day. And even if I didn't get everything done that day that I planned on doing, I could just push it to the next day without worrying about it. Because by planning out and writing down all the things that you need to get done, it helps clear your mind, because instead of having to remember everything up here, you get used to going to your planner and having everything there. Whenever we become stressed, our heart rate increases and our breathing becomes much quicker and shallower.
Kind of like when I contemplate the complexity of the universe and realize I mean nothing.
Deep thoughts. Whenever this happens, it's best to practice breathing techniques that will help you slow down your breath. Because whenever you slow down your breath, it helps signal to your body that there is nothing to stress about. And you can do this by meditation, but a common way that other people do it is by the 4-7-8 technique, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7 seconds, and then breathe out for 8 seconds. Cortisol is the primary chemical that signals to your body that you need to become stressed and alert in a situation. And caffeine is something that causes a release of cortisol. So if you are constantly drinking caffeine or drink a bunch, then your system is flooded with cortisol and you are constantly stressed. Now, caffeine is fine in low to moderate amounts, but it's kind of like exercise. If you do too much of it all the time, then your body will be overwhelmed with the stress, which is why if you drink a lot of caffeine, I recommend that you try and reduce it as much as possible to at least a maximum of 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day, which is about, I think, 240 milligrams of caffeine. But this will help drastically reduce the amount of stress that you are under. Lastly, you should make sure that you get enough sleep. And I wanted to make sure that I included this at the end because stress and sleep kind of go hand in hand a lot of times. Whenever you're stressed out, you then struggle to get enough sleep, and then because you didn't get enough sleep, you are more stressed out. So by applying the other techniques from the video, you'll be much more able to apply this one. And whenever you're in a deep state of sleep, you are in a period of recovery, and it signals to your body that you don't need to worry about anything, which is why getting enough sleep is so important, because if you don't, then you won't wake up feeling refreshed and you will probably continue to worry about the things that you were the day prior. I'll be talking more about sleep in the next video, so make sure that you check that out. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and have a great day.